and welcome to the eFresh.com Flower News. My name is Kim and these are this week's headlines. Imports wilt Vietnamese flower market. Flowers in Iran not selling well. Bulgaria smells the roses. Thailand's orchid exports remain sound. Son of Stinky, giant flower begins to bloom. The Vietnamese flower industry is struggling against up to 40% reduced demand in the first 4 months of the year and increased competition from imported flowers. The domestic flower market, especially in northern regions, could not compete with some imported flowers because their strange beauty had important novelty value. Flowers imported from foreign countries, such as Holland and Australia, were often more expensive, but they had interesting colors and shapes and could remain fresh for 2 weeks. Flowers imported from Vietnam's biggest competitor, China, were cheap and they could stay fresh for days. Flower traders are looking at new ideas in markets, such as setting up websites so customers can order online. Others have coordinated with small companies to open branches in provinces and cities. Although Iran can boast an annual crop of 800 million flower branches, decorative apartment plants, and hundreds of kilos of flower seeds, sales are disappointing. According to the managing director of the Flower and Plants Producers Syndicate of Iran, this is partly due to the Iranians economizing on buying fresh flowers and preferring to buy artificial. He also points out that the flower export stays behind to the international flower market. The reason for this, he says, is the fact that most of Iran's flower houses are still built in traditional style with plastic roofs on wooden beams. To be able to compete in the international flower market, producers need to take advantage of modern flower house facilities. EU newcomer Bulgaria is one of the largest suppliers of rose oil to the world's leading perfume makers. Following the transition to a market economy in 1990, production dropped from some 80% of the world's rose oil output during communist times to less than 30%. While part of the former Soviet bloc, Bulgaria developed a respected arms industry known for its small arms, assault rifles, anti-tank, anti-aircraft rockets, and artillery systems. But now the tender work of picking rose petals has replaced the assembling of rifles. It looks like the economic crisis is not affecting Bulgaria directly. The only thing the industry has to worry about is climate change, making the weather unpredictable. Thailand's orchid exports remain sound this year, with strong expansion projected despite a slow economy in which consumers are supposedly limiting unnecessary spending. Like other flowers, orchids are considered non-essential luxury items, which typically suffer through tough times. But according to the Thai Orchid Exporters Association, people still give flowers for special events, especially in foreign countries. Japan and the United States are still major markets for Thai orchids. Other key markets include China, India, and countries in Europe, notably the Netherlands. Russia is a new market with great potential. However, the government could assist exporters in new markets by having a state bank provide guarantees against import orders. A so-called corpse flower known for its rotting flesh odor has begun to bloom at the Huntington Library in San Marino, California. The Amorphophallus titanum is being called Son of Stinky because it was propagated from a seed from another corpse flower that bloomed at the Huntington in 1999, the first such bloom ever in California. That plant became known as the giant stinky flower and drew tens of thousands of visitors during its bloom. The new plant began to bloom after a growth spurt that raised it from about 1.2 meters tall last week to a height of more than 2 meters. Library spokeswoman Lisa Blackburn says it's a beautiful flower, but you just have to get past the stench. Thank you for watching the eFresh.com Flower News. See you next time.